Psalm 23. Just 6 verses. And I will tell you right now, by the time we finish today, this is going to be one of those passages you never read the same way again. Because almost everyone has heard it. Most people think they already know it. It has been read at funerals, painted on walls, printed on greeting cards. And somewhere along the way, it stopped being something people actually felt, and just became something people recognized. Today we are changing that. We are going to slow down and look at every single phrase in this psalm. And I mean really look at it, because every line was written by a man who had been through genuine fear, genuine darkness, genuine loss. And yet he ends with, "Goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life." How does someone get from the valley of the shadow of death to that kind of confidence? That is what we are unpacking today. And whatever you are going through right now, whether life feels full and you are just grateful, or whether you are in the hardest season you have ever faced, Psalm 23 was written for you. It is for the anxious ones, and the grieving ones, and the ones who feel like they have completely lost their way. So stay with me. Let's walk through every word of this together. Here is Psalm 23 in full. Read it with me. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Every single phrase of that psalm we are about to unpack together. Before we get into the words themselves, there is one thing you need to know, because it changes the way you read every single line. The man who wrote this psalm was a shepherd. David, who would one day become the greatest king Israel ever had, spent his teenage years out in the fields, alone, watching over a flock of sheep. Day after day, night after night, he knew the animals by name. He knew the terrain, the dangers, the watering holes. He had fought off lions and bears with his own hands to protect that flock. And then one day, sitting out there under an open sky, he looked back at his own life, and something clicked. He realized he had never once been the one in control. Through every valley, every narrow path, every moment where everything could have gone wrong, someone else had been guiding him, providing for him, fighting for him. And that is where Psalm 23 comes from. It is not theology for theology's sake. It is not just poetry. It is a man who knows exactly what a good shepherd looks like, because he is one, looking at his own life and saying, "That is what God has been doing for me all along." Every metaphor in this psalm is drawn from real experience. The green pastures, the quiet waters, the shadow of the darkest valley. David had been to all of those places with his actual sheep. And now he is saying, God has taken me through all of those places too. That is what makes this psalm not wishful thinking, but testimony. We begin with the very first line of this psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. And right away I want you to catch something that is easy to miss. David does not say the Lord is a shepherd. He says the Lord is my shepherd. That word, my, changes everything. This is not a general statement about God's character. This is personal. This is David saying, He belongs to me. I belong to him. And now think about what a shepherd actually is. Sheep cannot protect themselves. They cannot find food on their own. They get lost. They panic. Left alone, a sheep will wander off and die. They are fully, completely dependent on the shepherd for survival. David knows all of this because he was that shepherd, and he looks at his relationship with God and says, that is what I am. Completely dependent and completely cared for. The second phrase flows straight from the first, I lack nothing. Older translations say it as I shall not want. And David is not saying his life has no problems or no pain. He is saying something much deeper, that because the shepherd is with me, nothing I truly need is absent. The shepherd is the provision. His presence is the answer. Now look at green pastures. In the dry terrain of ancient Israel, a green pasture was not a luxury. It was survival. And a sheep cannot find it on its own. The shepherd has to know where it is. God always knows where to lead you, even when you cannot see the path. And then quiet waters. Here is something most people do not know. Sheep will not drink from a fast-moving, turbulent stream. The water must be still for them to drink. So a skilled shepherd would sometimes dam up a stream with rocks just to slow the current enough for the flock to be nourished. That level of care, that intentional, patient, personalized care, is what God gives to you. He refreshes my soul. That phrase in Hebrew carries the meaning of bringing something back, of restoration, of turning something around that was heading the wrong direction. Shepherds had a term for a sheep that had rolled onto its back and could not get up on its own. They called it cast down. Left in that position, a sheep would die. The shepherd would find it, right it, hold it steady until it could stand again. That is what this line is describing. God does not wait for you to find your footing on your own. He comes to where you are, and He brings you back. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. Notice that last part, for His name's sake. Not because you earned the guidance. Not because you figured everything out. God leads you because His character is on the line when He does. He will not lead you somewhere and abandon you. That is not who He is. Then comes the line that most people know better than any other verse in the Bible. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And I want you to sit in this for a moment. David is not pretending the valley is not dark. He is not saying everything is fine. The valley is real. The darkness is real. But notice what David says, I walk through it. Through. Not stuck in. Not camping in. Through it. The valley is a passage, not a destination. And the reason he can keep walking without fear? Not because the valley gets easier. Not because the danger disappears. But because you are with me. For words. That is the turning point of the entire psalm. And so David's answer to fear is not pretending it away. It is simply this: whatever is in that valley, it is not bigger than the one walking beside me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Now here is something worth understanding. The rod was a weapon, a heavy club the shepherd carried to fight off predators. A wolf, a lion, a bear coming after the flock. David tells us in 1 Samuel that he had personally killed both a lion and a bear while protecting his sheep. So when he says the rod comforts him, he knows exactly what that means. The staff was the long crook, used to guide, to gently redirect, to reach into a crevice and pull a sheep back from the edge. Both the weapon and the guide. And David says both of them bring him comfort. Because knowing that your shepherd is willing to fight for you, that is one of the most steadying things in the world. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Picture sitting down to a feast, a full, abundant meal, while those who oppose you watch from outside, powerless to stop it. God does not wait for your enemies to leave before He blesses you. He does not postpone provision until everything is safe and settled. He sets the table right in the middle of the conflict. He blesses you right in front of them. My cup overflows. Not barely full. Not just enough to get by. Overflowing, running over the edges. This is extravagance. This is abundance far beyond what you need. God does not provide just enough for you to survive. He gives so much it spills over onto everyone around you. And then the final verse, which might be the most beautiful line in the whole psalm. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. That word surely in Hebrew is closer to relentlessly. And that word follow. In Hebrew it can also mean pursue. God's goodness is not occasionally showing up. It is chasing you. Every single day. On the good days, and the hard days, and the days you feel nothing at all. And at the very end of the journey, I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The sheep is home. The shepherd's work is complete. Every valley behind you. Every dark season, finished. You are home. So what does Psalm 23 actually mean for your life today? Here is what I want you to carry out of this. The first thing, you are not alone in the valley. Whatever hard season you are walking through right now, you have not been abandoned inside it. Your shepherd is not waiting for you at the other end. He is right there beside you, in the middle of it. The second thing, rest is not weakness. When God makes you lie down in green pastures, that is not you being unproductive or falling behind. That is God saying, I know what you need, and right now you need to stop. The restoration that comes from that kind of rest is what makes everything else possible afterward. Third, your cup can overflow even when your enemies are watching. God's provision is not on hold until your life settles down. He prepares a table for you in the middle of the storm, not after it. And fourth, His goodness is pursuing you. Even on the days when you cannot feel it, when you cannot see any evidence of it, it is still there, still moving, still coming. You cannot outrun the goodness of God. It will follow you every single day, all the way home. Before we close out today, let me bring it all together one more time. We walked through Psalm 23 phrase by phrase. The Lord is my shepherd, personal, committed, always there. Not a shepherd, my shepherd. I lack nothing, because his presence is the provision. Green pastures and quiet waters. He knows where to take you and how to nourish you. He refreshes my soul, restoration for whatever has been worn down or lost. The darkest valley, you walk through it, not around it, and never alone. The rod and the staff, he fights for you and he guides you, both at the same time. The table before you, abundance in the middle of opposition. My cup overflows, more than enough, spilling over onto everyone around you. And his goodness pursues you, relentlessly, faithfully, every single day. All the way to the house of the Lord, forever. That is Psalm 23. 6 verses. One of the most complete pictures of what it means to live under the care of God that has ever been written. Now let's close by reading the whole thing one final time. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23. If this touched something in you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And follow this page. Every single day we open up another scripture and walk through it together just like this. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.